से सभाम भेटेलो पण भाईओ भेरो काका काकीओ अन्न आपण से मासा मासीओ मरकली गोडी अन से गावात नमन करतो ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಾನು ಲಂಬಾಣಿ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, this is the complexity I'm having. Complexity of exclusion, complexity of inclusion. I have to think in the language, my mother tongue, Banjara Boli. And then I have to write it in the mother tongue which is written on my certificate, Kannada. And then I have to articulate in English, which is the policy language where I have been scheduled. And now there are efforts to tell that we should adopt a language called Devanagari to write our dialect and the kind of literature we are having. So this is the complexity under which I want to bring this topic. I'll be very precise in taking you people through the history and the current policy problem. Why I am keeping all these things are, they are not just jewelries. These are my literature. I don't have the literature which tells me that what kind of exclusion or historical injustice these communities had. These are the historical documents which is telling about the history of Banjaras on this soil, the history of demonetization, the history of the land rights struggle. If you see this, I have elephant on it, I have crowry shells on it, I have colorful glasses on it. And people who are familiar with the economic history and cultural history of India will understand how these crowry shell glasses were used as currencies. And the link between these community with the larger political economy of India. I'm presenting on undoing the historical injustice, equitable land rights to the Banjaras of Karnataka. Shashwati madam, perfectly, she has given me a good framework to understand how creatively we are taking Baba Saheb movement forward. And then this, I feel, one of the creative expressions which I am giving today. I'm very proud to tell that this entire creative expression is been inspired from Baba Saheb's struggle. So I need to tell you the story of the history, culture, emancipation, and then the parallel struggle this community had over the generation of time. So what I'm using a framework of journey of the Banjaras, lens of Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar, glasses of my Dada Dadi, which are reflections for my entire journey, and the soil. That's why I have put mud color over there to tell how I belong here, because now we are being driven to a situation to tell that we are also part of this soil, and the seeds of hope which I am having in the vision of Baba Saheb. I am not wearing this, it's not saffron, this is called Kesula. Kesula is the flame of forest. Our leader Seva Bhaya, whom we call Bhaya, he says, Kesular nahi merayu. That means I will make my Banjaras to bloom like flame of the forest in the midst of the dryness. There's a cultural historicity, and then there's an expression behind it. I'll explain what is that expression. And why Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar's framework and lenses? Because that is the big spectacle we are using to understand our communities. People who are familiar with Baba Sahib's literature, the literature on ancient trade and commerce in India, who are Shudras, untouchable ghettos, these are the classical texts which gives us a certain identity and certain dignity on this soil. That's why I'm using Baba Sahib's lens to understand this entire issue of land issue and the identity of Banjaras. Glasses of my grandmother and my grandfather to reflect on the journey we had on this soil for 3,000 years. And the seeds of hope, the Constitution of India, as Upendra Bakshi has clearly told, the entire Constitution is just a footnote to the preamble of India. And this entire journey, we want to add one more footnote to the preamble of India: justice, equality, liberty, and fraternity. And then want to tell the people that we are one among these Indians. Because now there is a cultural appropriation of this community, because this community is been historically called as Gaur Banjaras. That has been a watershed terminology for the Hindutva forces to tell that Gaur interpreted Gaur Rakshak Banjaras. So many of you who are familiar with the cow politics in India, shit politics in India, and beef politics in India will understand how our communities are being appropriated. Friends, I want to reiterate that I am wearing Kesula color and not Hindutva color. My pant is blue because I am the imagination of Baba Sahib. I am wearing this red color because the community has participated in many of the communist struggles. And it has been very much well documented in many of the literatures. Bhangya Pukya has been one of the person who has documented. People who are familiar with the communist movement in India, especially on the land struggle in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, will be able to understand how Banjaras and especially Banjaras Tandas were being shelters for protection of many of our communist leaders. Because if you trace the communist history in India, that you will say that parallelly with the freedom struggle, there was an emancipation and freedom struggle which was happening for the disadvantaged groups, and Banjaras is one such disadvantaged group. And also Baba Sahib's Ambedkar of emancipation of these disadvantages by bringing the literature on it and by telling how we should be liberated. That's why I was quoting ancient history of India, who are Shudras and untouchable ghettos. It gives an identity for us on this soil, because historians in this country, which are dominated either by the Brahminical people or Anglicist historians, have corrupted our history. That's why now I am embarking on my own literature, which is called as Petiya, the classic, the traditional dress of my grandmother, to understand my own history and to interpret my own history. Yeah, and then I am using the help of many of these historical leaders who are very important for us. At that side we have our community Bhaya called Sevalal. So his father's name was Bhima Naik. That's why I always tell whenever I go to my Tanda, Jai Bhima, Jai Seva, because that has Baba Sahib into it, and then our Bhaya Sevalal also into it. So we want to get integrated in the society through this cultural creativity. Otherwise, there is a narrative which is going on in this soil called Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, and this means Hindutva. It's not Hindutva. It's my Kesula actually, right? Yes, and it's very easy. Like as Madam was comfortably reading the literature and explaining that, that's one end of the literature. And for me, this India becomes the entire page to tell my history. I can't have textuality to depict my history. I need this entire India's map. This is called something called Lamana Mara, which has been depicted during Buddha's time to express how the trade and commerce was being carried out. Friends, many of you are familiar with the spices which are grown in Kerala are consumed in Kashmir. The acrobatic tradition of northern India is also performed in the extreme south of Kanyakumari. Salt carriers, bullock cart movers, the people who carried this journey on this subcontinent. Because many of us are having this framework where we say that we attach most of the communities with the traditional occupations they perform, right? We have a community in this side which performs the gold work, the community which performs the puja, who are the like traditional keepers of our dharma, the Brahmins. And we also have on this soil people like who clean our villages, people like who have been called as untouchables, who have been called as the cobblers in the village. But in this soil, we also forget the journey this country has carried forward during the time of leather economy. How the leather economy, which was there in the extreme southern part of India, the leather products of Kolar were carried to Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. The gold excavations in Harappa and Mohenjo-daro says that the gold which is there in Harappa and Mohenjo-daro is from the soil of Kolar. How do this gold move from Kolar to Harappa is an interesting explanation. I'm keen to understand. During the conversation with many of the historians and the cultural activists, when I say cultural activists, people like Kotiganoli Ramaya becomes an important source of my reflection, and then he represents my tradition. Devanur Mahadeva becomes an important historian and cultural critic to tell and then caution me on certain aspects. So I have this range of my mentors who have helped me to understand the actual identity of these people. I'm putting one lake which is called Nilkund, and then another lake called Kadapur. These, you go to any of our tandas, in all our tandas are the settlements where the Banjaras stay. Tandas is a moving caravan. If you go to the gypsies in the Hungary and Romania, many of the words of the gypsies in the Hungary and Romania, they resembles the Banjaras dialect. If you are familiar with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which our Banjara says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like you will find the same things in Hungarian and Romanian. So we also speak the language of Hungarian and Romanians to a certain extent. Kaka is an uncle, Bhai is a... So what I'm saying, that journey has taken us for Europe, and the people like who carried this entire occupation of taking this journey across India. When I'm saying taking journey across India, they carried something called the ideas from place to place. How do you use cardamom? How do you use pepper? They taught it to people in Kashmir. They also carried a lot of these minerals which are available at one place. That's why the name Laman is referring to Lavanas, means salt. Salt is not only the salt which is consumed in our diet, but also the minerals which they carried from place to place. That's why you see many of our pandas are situated near the mineral deposits. Kappadgudda you have, in Karnataka, people are familiar with Karnataka's topography. Kappadgudda is a place where you will have a lot of these gold deposits. 32 pandas you will find in Kappadgudda. And then if you go to the Lavnis and then the songs which the ladies sing in the village, they relate themselves to the entire historical city of Harappa. They call themselves as Harappani. Ma Harappani too. Whenever she gets angry and then whenever somebody insults her, she says, Ma Harappani too, man hai kyu kasi. That means I am from Harappa and I am the native of this land. How can you like scold me like that? Because many a time during the course of journey, people like who have settled in a particular geography have this tendency to insult these people, saying that you are from outside. You are not the native of this soil. Then she gets angry, my grandmother gets angry and she says, my Harappani too. Means I am the native person of this soil, Harappani. Right? So I am using these two identities. In Kannada I call it as Kururu, or Gurtha. Like this Nilkund and then Kadapur. Nilkund represented the water source near Sitapur, where you can see those trends. It is painted by one British painter called Robert Hickson. This is been painted during 1810. How does this Banjara settlement look like? And then where they settle? This is a place called Kadapur, where we have our Banjara leader called Sewalal's birthplace. And then you go to Maharashtra or you go to Andhra Pradesh, people will be singing about the songs of these Kadapur. So that's why they have carried this idea, saying that Sevabaya, this is near a place called Shumoga, where it has been described as it was his birthplace. So this is not written in any literature, documented in any literature. This is the exploration by the community people who are uneducated in the literary sense. They are not literate, they say, but I feel that it's a highly educated community. How can you depict the entire history of this community on this? You pick up this and then you depict like how the demonetization process has been imposed on this soil by different rulers. So yeah, the entire India's map represented how these people carried the goods and services from place to place. I know I'll take some more time. I'll take another 10 minutes. I can't wrap up. I can't wrap up because on this soil we have not been heard, and you have to wait. You have to wait. Kindly don't do that to any of the speakers who are speaking here. Kindly don't do that. Why you are saying wrap up? It's just 15 minutes I have spoken and it already says wrap up. Don't do this. Sorry for that.
Continue.
This is how the policy makers and event management companies manage it on this file. Saying that wrap up. Because I have to think in, I'm saying from the beginning, I have to think in Lamani language, then I have to interpret it in Kannada, then I have to speak in English. This is my complexity. I'm not a person like who is educated in an English medium school. I'm not a person like who has been taught in a Kannada medium thing. I have to express myself. Give me some time. And I am not asking you anybody to give the translators of the speakers which you are carrying. Right? Give me some time. I'm doing it with certain pace. I have given the honor to all the dignitaries. I wanted to express. So, coming back, that most of the deities are Banjaras, are the soil and then the land. That's what is being depicted in that. This is called the Chokopura, which our people do in the village, to demonstrate how wide this community, how it is being spread across the globe. I'm mentioning Wellington here, the Lord Wellesley, because he has documented the movements of this community during the Britishers' time. And then what has happened during the Britishers' time for this community? Because I have to speak on the historical discrimination and subjugation of this community. As I said earlier, in the Harappa explorations, you'll be able to find these crow-shells, and then you'll be able to find most of these ornaments in the excavations depicting that. These are the people like who are living in these banks of the. So the picture which is there depicted is Banjara man's movement on the soils of Kolar. And when I was asking on the Kolar Betta, the villagers, do you remember the Banjaras and Lamanis coming to the Kolar Betta? They used to say, Sir, huppetko barta idru, jola tagond hogta idru. That means they used to bring the salt and they used to carry the jawar from us. So that's what they did in the barter system. So these are some of the photographs taken by the colonial rulers to demonstrate how this community used to carry the grain and then the salt and the ideas and the packed block. I'm quoting this from the historical text, which is called Ranjan ka pani chappar ka gas din ke tin khun maaf jahan Asaf Khan ke ghode wahan jangi bangi ka bel. That's what historically the people on this soil have done to us, to subordinate our entire identity to the larger politics or larger kind of political imaginations these people are having. It just says for the Banjaras, like these are the people like who are carrying the salt. The elderly person is my grandfather who is carrying the salt on the bullock cart. It's been said by, this is none other than the first Nizam of Hyderabad, who says, if you can find no water elsewhere, you may even take it from the pots of my followers. Grass you may take it from the roofs of their huts. And if you commit 3 murders a day, I will even pardon. Friends, the rulers on this soil have motivated us to kill people, 3 people in a day, and that is also being pardoned because the empires have to survive here. The kingdoms have to survive. So basically, our communities have been butchered by these rulers. To demonstrate this entire thing, I'm using some of the photographs from the British archives, where these people, like how they used to supply the grains, medicines, the liquor. My throat is not well because I had this English liquor day before yesterday. My throat is off. But my grandmother and then grandfather, they used to they lived up to 100 years. Every day they used to have a liquor which they used to call as medicine. So whenever the people are talking about the consumption of the liquor and alcohol in the community, it was always seen as a medicine, not as it is being depicted as the mainstream community as illicit liquor. It was not illicit liquor. As my father, who was a bonded labor in the house of J.H. Patel, who was one of the Karnataka CM, Chief Minister, one of the socialist leader, my father happened to be a bonded labor in his house. And my father used to tell why J.H. Patel often visited our pandas in search of this medicine and the hookah which our community had. So I'm just depicting the pictures in the war zone to tell you how this community supplied the water, grain, food, liquor to soldiers in the army, right? And this is Ramnagara Betta. Most of you who have seen Ramnagara Betta will remember this picture. It's been taken in 1848. This is what they look like when the state imposed Criminal Tribes Act on them. Because this community has been carrying out the occupation of transportation and trade. Basically, they are like, as you want to compare, people like who carried logistics and transportation on this soil. So that's why in the beginning I said, we associate many of these castes and groups to a particular occupation, but we forget who has carried this journey and then who has done this occupation of transportation and trade. Yeah, this is a petition written by three of the Banjaras called Boja Naik, Mata Naik and Dasu Naik. This is a petition which they write in the year 1810 when the Criminal Tribes Act has been imposed on them by the Britishers. See, these are the doubly disadvantaged people. On the one hand, the Rajas and Maharajas on this side have exploited them. On the other hand, the Britishers also started exploiting them, calling them as the criminal tribes. This has been a petition which is published in the what is that, Herald? Some Herald. I will give you. I am not able to recall. It's a petition which has been written into that paper during the year 1810, and it has been extracted from the British Library. Basically, they are writing this petition to the Lord Gilbert Minto on January 19 for the help from the Britishers, saying that help us with supplying of the salt and help us in carrying out more trade on this soil, so that we will live happily, and then we also will enter into the peasantry mode. That's a reputation they are having. So I'll just wrap up. I'll come to Karnataka because I'm traveling in the history and then telling it through cultural means. Now I come to the actual politics which I wanted to discuss over here. So Banjaras in Karnataka, we are being put into the category of scheduled caste. And if you go to the neighboring state of Maharashtra, we are in the scheduled tribe. If you go to the Delhi, we are in the scheduled caste. If you go to the Haryana, they are into the scheduled caste. If you go to the Uttar Pradesh, we are into the scheduled caste. We are also into the OBC list. The complexity of whether they are the caste, tribe, nomadic groups, that is not been resolved by the state authorities. The whole complexity of caste and then this entire identity of tribe is still has been articulated through the constitutional document. And during the year 1947, when this entire debate of listing of the depressed classes was happening through the parliamentary process, Baba Sahib himself was said that it is left to the Raj Pramukhs and state to decide where they have to go. And the specific mention was there of Banjaras of Himachal Pradesh. Hukum Singh Yadav, who approaches Baba Sahib, says that there are a lot of confusion of putting us into different categories. Can you help us with arriving this? Putting us into one particular category so that we have some unified identity. Baba Sahib says it's a complex issue, and you people have integrated into the soil in such a way that it's very difficult to bifurcate your identity from the identity of the state. So that's why we are in the scheduled caste in Karnataka, we are in the nomadic tribe in Maharashtra, we are into the list of scheduled caste in the state of Delhi. So that's why I say they have been in the soil of Karnataka from the time of inter-regional and intra-regional trade and transportation activities. Basically, what I am discussing, the Karnataka state government has recently brought a legislation and an amendment to the legislation called Land Reform Act of 2016. They have made a small amendment to the act called 38A. Basically, the 38A is an amendment brought to the Karnataka state government to give the land to the agricultural laborers. And this entire thing, I'm very proud to tell that I'm also part of that journey. And then I can claim that because of our efforts, communities like 1,000 communities like this, how they get their rights. This is an assumption that Karnataka state government has asserted this. The Karnataka state government has formed a particular policy of preservation or giving the Land Reforms Act. I'm just mentioning the historical struggle these people are having. So the Banjaras, after the Criminal Tribes Act, when they started settling in the far-off places, occupying the wastelands and in the forest lands, they settled near a place called Bahadur Bata near Koppal, where all the Banjara leaders who included Bichu Bhutya and Sevala, they give a declaration called Kacharian Pachan Kades, Savkar Samanan Kades. Seva Bhaya says, the day will come when we have to walk along with the mainstream civilized society, and the day will come when one of our Banjara leaders will emancipate us. And that Banjara leader came in the year 1920 to this soil called India, Baba Saheb Ambedkar. And then I'm very proud to say that Baba Saheb Ambedkar is a Banjara because he was traveling across the globe in search of emancipating us. And very proudly we say that, that's why we are saying him, calling him as Jai Bhima, who represented our grandfather, and Jai Seva is a service for this community. Right? I'll just finish this because there is a lot of pressure, a lot of history behind it, how the difference between main Tanda and the village, how it is being differentiated, politically how these people have been co-opted, and then how they have made integrated into the political domains. Vasant Rao Naik, the longest serving chief minister of Maharashtra, was from this community, Banjara community. So this Kandaya Gramagalagi Karnataka. China, last time when you visited, I gave you extra time also in my college. Right? Finish. Yeah.
Continue, sir. Continue.
So basically, I'm saying because of this Amendment Act, now at least 6 lakh habitations, which includes all the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, OBCs and minorities, are now having this entire right to say that wherever the unrecorded habitations are there, that habitations belongs to us. Whether it's a Golrhatti, camp, colony, Palya, Tanda, that belongs to us. So it has a long pending history. I will discuss it at some other time. So some of the pictures of Gorakshaks are the Banjaras. How did the Gorakshaks burn these Banjaras? Okay, thank you. And then where do we want to go from here is still a long journey. And actually China is also compelled by the state authorities who never let us to speak. So there are more than 3,900 Tandas in Karnataka. Please come to my Tanda and we will tell you the more stories. Thank you.